Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the K-3 visa process going into 2023. Now, for those who watch these videos fairly frequently, you'll kind of notice the K-3 doesn't get a lot of play very regularly on our videos because, quite honestly, it's a pretty rare visa to see it used. I haven't seen it used in a long time. And the reason for this is, well, it comes down to the National Visa Center, as all problems in immigration oftentimes seem to come down to the National Visa Center. This particular issue does come down to the NVC, and that is K-3 visas, if they are deemed to not be necessary, essentially, they can be administratively closed. And what are we talking about here? Under the Life Act, under the promulgation of the Life Act, the K-3 was created. It was created at a time when marriage visas processed more slowly than fiancé visas. So they essentially kind of set up a marriage visa that sat in the same line, if you will, as the K-1 visa. They called it a K-3, the derivative being a K-4. And the K-3 visa was designed for married folks that wanted to sort of get past the really intense lines in the 90s for a green card visa, an immigrant spouse visa. So they basically used a K-3. Now, about 12, 15 years ago, that became no longer necessary. The cases were being processed out in a timely manner, so NVC began issuing what's called notices of administrative closure of K-3 cases, basically saying, look, the underlying immigrant spouse visa can be used, therefore you're going to use it, we're just going to kind of make you do that, and you're not going to be able to use the K-3 anymore. So that's kind of where things stand on K-3s right now. There are limited circumstances where I have seen folks use K-3s with success because the underlying processing of an immigrant spouse visa was taking too long. Whatever reason, the K-3 ultimately went through. One nice thing about the K-3 is by dint of the fact it's a K visa, it gets to avoid the National Visa Center, which can be a major benefit in the sense of processing, but you've still got to deal with them in the sense of they're deciding whether or not the case should be administratively closed. So again, you kind of end up in this catch-22 with the K-3. Do you file it? Do you mess with it at all? Or do you just look at either, if your circumstances are there, they warrant it, then you may want to look at a K-1 if you're not currently married, or getting married and looking at an immigrant spouse visa as opposed to seeking a K-3.